how to deal in my position and how to maintain myself here when my opponent is trying to escape, right? And then I get the C grip, post his wrist to the floor, then I can start hugging him and then get on this situation here, this position, okay? Again, so he's gonna put the elbow inside, okay? Sometimes it's hard to get the underhook, right? So you're gonna C grip right here, and then you can use your elbow closer to your hip, okay? Especially if your opponent is stronger than you. So you go like this, so you can push with your body, all right? Not only with your arm, okay? So you use your body to push, okay? So now you extend his arm and then you grab here, okay? So now you underhook his arm, then you'll be on this position. Underhooking the arm and hugging the head is always great here from mount, okay? A lot of times when you hear your opponent is gonna have this arm here, frame you on your stomach. Okay? Even though I have this underhook right here, your opponent is doing that, right? So the problem is being like in front of his shin, of his forearm, sorry, right here, okay? So what I like to do here, I like to mount on his arm, okay, the entire arm. So there's two ways for me to step my leg over, okay? So I can go like this, okay? But I have to watch out on not letting my opponent disconnect his elbow from his body. Because when he does that, now I'll be mounted and I'll be on top of his frame, okay? Which is not good for me. It's very important to keep squeezing your leg, okay? And keeping his arm against his body, okay? So that way he cannot work with the frame. I don't want to be on top of his forearm. I want to be on top of his arm here, okay? Bicep and tricep, like this. And I have the underhook like this. So what I'm gonna work to do here is bringing his bicep against his face, okay? So I start connecting his bicep against his face here, and then I mount super high. I go with my right leg, sorry, like this, and then I go to kind of like an S mount, okay? So I start pulling his head towards me, and I scoop my calf under his neck. So now look, I grab my shin, post my knee on the floor, and now I start figure four my leg, okay? So after I figure four, then I pull his head and he's gonna tap, okay? Or I can even extend his arm like this. I turn his palm this way, and then I extend like this so he tap. So if you just do like this, it's not gonna feel, okay? So you have to like move his thumb that way, okay? So then you can get a nice arm work. Or even go for a wrist lock, okay? But usually your opponent will tap on the triangle here, all right? Again. So I'm here, he's trying to escape, right? I'm mounting him, so I'm gonna get the C grip. I push his hand to the floor, I underhook, okay? So now you see that his arm is on the way. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hop over his elbow here, like this. Okay, try to open your arm. So now I'm pinching, clamping my legs, okay, so he doesn't open his elbow, okay? So after doing that, this leg, okay, goes right behind the arm that I'm underhooking, like this. And immediately I escape from his hand right here. So his head is no longer between my legs. Where I'm gonna be pulling his head, and then I chop my leg under his neck. Okay? I'll do everything connecting his bicep against his face. If I don't connect his bicep against his face, if you keep the arm like this, it's gonna be hard for me to go for the S mount, okay? So I can even walk with my hand like this, like a spider walk. So I can extend my arms. So now I keep his bicep against his face, okay? Again, so he's trying to escape, pin, underhook, okay? Control, I can do like this grip here. I like to grab like this, okay? So now I'm gonna mount to try to frame the arm. So he's trying to frame the arm, okay? Gonna hop over. So now look, this leg here, I do not put my knee here, okay? I keep over his tricep. Okay, so that way, it will give you a nice mobility and motion to go to the S mount. So look, I advance my right knee, and now I lean my weight towards this leg here. So now I pull his head off the mat, and the reason that I pull his head up like this is to not let him bridge. Try to bridge. It's hard for him to bridge. If I keep here, he's gonna be strong, you see? So I have to bring him to me. and then I go like this, okay? So now I keep the hand under his head, and then I grab with my right hand here on the shin, putting my kneecap on the floor, just lift my foot, and then figure four, okay? So now I finish right here, or like this. Very simple. So the way you're gonna work, you can work on any guard pass or any sweep where you're gonna land on mount, or you can sweep, pass, mount, and when you get on mount, you're gonna do this technique, okay? For example, you get here, okay, I can do like a very simple sweep, like this, come up, pass it on his guard, okay, get the near side underhook, mount on him, and then he's gonna start working to escape, pin, underhook, mount on his tricep, right? Advance my knee, and then work together, submission, okay? And now he's just turn, okay? Let me see if he likes. Just keep doing that like over and over, back and forth. You notice that when we are on the side control, and when you make a transition from side control to mount, let's say I'm hugging his head, okay? You know, usually this arm is on the way. If I try to mount like this frame here will bother me, and he's gonna push me, okay? Usually when you hear, if you land like this, just like we did, you underhook the near side first, and then you mount. Okay, it's gonna be easier for you. Then you let your opponent do the elbow escape, where you can push the hand to the floor. Okay, you start. See, you just have to pass the elbow, just like this. Okay, ass mount, pull him, and chop the leg under. See, and my foot face this way, so I can connect to my triangle. Okay. Any question? All right, let's go 1, 2, 3. Go. Guys, notice that his frame is really strong right here. Let's say open your arm. So if I put the weight here, Rolando is super strong here. Because look, there's the bone, and he's not only using his arm, his bicep, but also his shoulder, his lat. So there's a lot of strength here, okay? So that's why I have to pin his arm here with my thigh. Okay, so that way he doesn't use his elbow or his shoulder. Okay, try to open. So don't let him disconnect the arm from his body. So I'm pinning here. Okay. Also look, if I put my weight right here, try to extend. Now he's not so strong. He still can move there, but if I keep my weight here, there's not much for him to do. For example, when I do the S mount, if I do the S mount more near his elbow, he's gonna open my leg, he's gonna carry my leg. But if I do more over his wrist, there's not much for him to do. Even if you open the elbow, my leg doesn't move, you see? All right, so sometimes the hand will be on the way like this, it's okay, okay? As long as you keep the weight over the hand, the wrist, okay? Not over here. So if you're here, you're doing wrong, okay? So I'm squeezing, and as I go to the mount, I'm pulling his head, right? I pull his head, so I'm doing this. Now I'm over the wrist. And I make a transition of my weight here, see? So I'm scooping my leg and I'm pinching my knees. So I'm very strong here and stable, okay? Keeping his head off the mat, like this, will prevent him from bridging. He can't bridge. It's hard for him to bridge. So if his head touches the mat, now he can bridge, okay? Then he can move it, all right? So it's very important, very important to pull his head, okay? So if I'm here, okay, as we got it, so I bring his bicep against his face by extending my arm here, and then I mount on his elbow. It's just on top of his arm here. I don't need to mount like this, okay? It's over the elbow, pinch, and I'll advance, and then you slide. So when I go to the ass, to that mount, I have to slide my leg like I'm slicing his body. Okay, I have to feel my leg like sliding. Okay, I cannot like disconnect. If you're disconnecting, that's when he get the momentum and take you out. Okay. If I'm here and Rolando is not making this frame, let's say his arm's on the floor or his arm is here, okay? So now the way I do is going over with the knee, like staple like this, but extend your arm. See, if his arm is here, it's hard for me to step my leg over like a windshield wiper. Why? Because this leg here is on this side, okay? My right leg is on this side. So it makes like a really hard time for me to like step over. So I should, if I want to do that, I would like dismount, just step over, okay, and keep his arm between my legs. But what I have to do here, it's again, once my knee goes to the floor, I connect his elbow to his body, like this. Now I can wipe my leg over. You see? So it's very important to keep your opponents like this. So let's say when you pass in the guard, a lot of times you get the leg drag, you hear. If you keep his elbow off his body, so he has a really powerful frame. He's not only using the arm, but also he's using his shoulder, his strap, his lat. But if I do this, there's no longer frame, right? So I always connect his elbows against his body, so he loses the frame. So when I step over his leg here, with my kneecap first, because it's gonna be pretty much impossible for me to step over like this during the fight. Very, very hard. I have to go with my knee first, sweep, and touch his elbow towards his body. Now I'm out. So now I'm here. So now I'm in the position that I want. Okay? And then I go to the submission. Okay? I like to do this a lot when I'm playing, when I'm trying to choke my opponent with the katagatame. A lot of times you're here, you bring your head to the side, and you are here choking your opponent from mount, and they're not tapping, right? Or even from side control. You're here, you're squeezing, and sometimes your opponent's really tough. They even bring this arm down, or they put this arm under the leg, right? Like this, okay? So you go here, and they start defending, right? Exactly. So you have your shin on the way, so it doesn't connect the arm against the leg, right? So you have the shin on the way, okay? So you keep his arm apart from his leg, okay? Using the shin. Then I like to mount. But when I mount over his arm. And then I do this. I squeeze the knee against his body, against his elbow. Then I make a transition to this, okay? Because a lot of times you go katagatame, squeeze, they don't tap. Sometimes you're mount, sometimes side control, right? You just make a transition to mount, staple the arm. And as you staple the arm, the secret is this. 1, sweep. 2, now you step over, okay? Don't try to go here and windshield wiper like this. You have to connect his elbow to his body. And then you go over, okay? And I'm clamping my legs here, super tight, okay? Try to open your elbow. It's hard for you to open the elbow, right? Then I advance always the knee behind the arm that's inside. So I advance this knee here, make kind of like a pillow for him. And then my legs slide, and then I go to this position, okay? Sometimes, you know, you feel like your opponent is big, or you feel like if you try to put the knee on the floor, it's hard for you to close the triangle, right? You can be more like sideways, you see? Like this, and you can lock a triangle from here. But you're gonna allow your opponent to turn a little bit, like turn around. You see that my leg is across his neck. It's no longer, my calf is no longer behind his neck. It's like on the side of his neck. So I fall here, he's gonna come up, and I lock a triangle like sideways, like this. This is a very powerful triangle. And now you can finish him like this. Okay? Try to stand up on. It's a different triangle. I'm not doing the triangle like this. You know, I'm doing the triangle more like sideways. It's like a darts choke with the leg, you know? So when you do the darts, you lock on the side of the neck, right? It's pretty much a triangle like Darce style, you know? We're more like on the side of the neck than behind the neck, okay? So you have that option too. If you want to go to the regular triangle as we did the first, like chopping, kneecap on the floor and then locking, you can do it. Or if your opponent is too big or leg is too short to go underneath, you close like sideways, right? So you can do just the way we did before, like here, okay? And let's say right now, his arm is not connected on me. If his arm is connected on me, I do the first one. If his arm is kind of like disconnect, it's floating around, or even like this, you know, like sometimes he's here like floating. He gave me space here. So I go 1 and then 2, so now I'm here. Everything that I do, I'm like connecting his bicep against his face, okay, here, right? In this case, it's gonna look like this in the fight. So I'm here, right? He's trying to frame. I go over, connect his elbow against his body, clamp my legs. I can even open here right now, as long as I keep his bicep against his face. And I S mount. If I feel like I can't scoop my leg under, I go like sideways, right? I just stay like sideways, and I lock like this. So now I finish like a shoulder lock. Okay, it's like a choke with shoulder and arm bar. It's even easier for you to get an arm bar like this as well. Okay, because you kind of like, almost like an arm bar, you know? But it's like this, okay? All right, okay? You can also drill, last one. You can also drill katagatame style. Sometimes you reach the katagatame. You go either to mount or side control. You try to choke. The opponent's not tapping. You mount his body and the bicep. Now, you go here. See how I pull his head up so he doesn't breach? And when I grab my shin, I like to keep a pillow here. I don't go like this, okay? Keep like this so you block his bridge, okay? It's hard for him to breach. Worst case scenario, my leg is too short. Like I have like tiny legs. And I have the armbar, okay? And if you try to come up here, I don't lock a triangle where I need to go with my calf behind his knee, behind his, actually his neck, to lock the triangle, because you see how much is like work. So I was in the armbar, and he came up, I just locked like this. I lock like sideways, right? So like a Darce, like this. You don't have to dig your leg all the way across the neck, right? So take advantage that your leg is already there. You just lock like this, you know, like sideways. And now you just bend the arm of your opponent like this. Okay, it's a very strong triangle. And it hurts because it's like right on the carotid. There you go.
Yeah, the carotid. Yeah.
Carotid. Like the name of this part of the neck. Okay. All right. You guys got it? All right. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.